What's up, YouTube? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen, to all of my returning subscribers. However, if this is your first time joining me on today, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. And today, I am going to be doing a birth chart reading on Loni Love. Now, just in case y'all been hiding under a rock for these past few days, Loni Love, she is a co-host from the daytime talk show The Real. Sidebar, who the fuck watches The Real? I mean, I understand that they've won Emmys and awards, but I'm a little perplexed as to who the fuck is keeping these people on air, just because the show, in my opinion, is just very underwhelming, very boring, very much like, it feels like great value TV to me. But, what do I know? Nonetheless, Loni Love has been in some trouble lately after her former friend took to an interview and basically admitted that Loni Love got Tamar Braxton fired from The Real. Now, if you rewind back to when Tamar was fired, she went on this long tirade about how all of the girls got together and they colluded to get her let go, in which the girls responded by going on this big press tour where they pretty much defended themselves and denied those allegations. And so now that this, information has come out, a lot of people are looking like, damn, I guess Tamar was right. I guess Tamar is vindicated in the situation. And people are definitely giving Loni the side eye, as they should, because she has definitely been one of the most loudest voices, the most vocal about the fact that we had nothing to do with it. We had nothing to do with it. We don't know what happened. What's left from right? What's up from down? We don't know. We don't know. So these were the type of things that they were saying, just for someone to come out and confirm what Tamar had been saying all the while. Now, this lady in question, she could be lying. Anything is possible. But that brings me to why I wanted to do the reading, because I wanted to take a look at Loni's birth chart just to see if she would be capable of doing something like this. And then furthermore, I wanted to get into the synastry between she and Tamar, just to get a different vibe and understanding of that relationship that they had going on. So without further ado, let's get started. So Loni Love was born on July 12, 1971 in Detroit, Michigan, making her a Cancer sun, Pisces moon. Now, right off back, with her being a Cancer sun, she actually has her Venus in Cancer as well. Let's see what degree. Yeah, her sun's at that 19th degree of Cancer, and with her Venus at the 6th degree of Cancer. And Cancer is one of those signs that can be very big on self-preservation, right? And when you even think about the symbol for Cancer, which is the crab, everybody knows that saying, crab in a bucket mentality, right? And that definitely encompasses a lot of that dark-sided Cancerian energy, in the sense that dark-sided Cancers can be they can be haters, for lack of a better word, because they do have this, like I said, self-preservation, kind of even instinctive, right? Because they're governed by the moon, and the moon is a very instinctive type of planet. And they have this nature that's almost like nothing is enough, or there's like a never enough to go around type of mentality. So, that's plausible right off of those two placements alone. However, I guess you could say, hook, line, and sinker of Loni's birth chart is the fact that she's actually a Leo South Node, with her South Node at the 15th degree. And, quite a few things can be deduced from this placement. So first off, Leo South Nodes can be extremely territorial and competitive. They often subscribe to these win-lose type of mentalities. And it can also make them very, very jealous, okay? They could also be very attention-seeking. And there could be a need for the spotlight due to not feeling celebrated enough. A very like me focused state of mind. And this is very interesting because I've noticed when I hear a lot of people discuss the dynamics of the show, they talk about the fact that they feel like Loni kind of positions herself as like the Whoopi Goldberg of the real. And that reference is from The View, for those of y'all who are familiar with that show, where Whoopi Goldberg is essentially like the mother hen of the show. She like is in control of everything, in control of the discussion. She's like the unspoken moderator, the head bitch in charge, so to speak. And a lot of people have noticed that Loni kind of positions herself in that light. And there is like this, like I said, unspoken, I don't know if it's like a rule or this thing that she does where she makes herself like the center, in her opinions, the centerpiece of the show. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. And that could definitely point back to that Leo South Node. There could also be a strong desire to shine in the entertainment industry, which, obviously. And Loni was actually a comedian initially. I remember her from doing, I think she did stand-up comedy on, what was that show? Oh my God, BET, Comic View. That's right. Comic View. And then she went on to do some acting roles like in Soul Plane. So she has very much been in this entertainment industry for a very long time. Also, as a matter of fact, Loni actually speaks about the fact that when this show was first created, she thought she was going to be getting her very own show, like a show that was just for her. But little did she know that she was supposed to be sharing the spotlight with other people. And I'm not really sure how that decision was made. But point is, that even is very much consistent with her Leo South Node. You know, like I said, her wanting the spotlight all to herself, her feeling like she's this superstar within the entertainment industry. So definitely as it pertains to the way she could like move and function amongst her friends and co-hosts, that could definitely point towards a person who, like I said, is very kind of like narcissistic in a lot of ways, who has a very sensitive and delicate ego, inflated sense of self, and very self-centered, you know. Leo South Nodes can also be very dramatic. They can also, do a lot of childish antics. And these people are also very, very prideful. Now, something else that I thought was interesting about her being a Leo South Node is that this lunar nodal placement creates a lot of karmic debt involving men and children, which is very interesting because, yes, Loni Love is in a relationship now, but she has been single and she's been vocal about her being single for a very long time. A lot of people have even complained about her taste in men or how she feels about black men, I guess, and some of the statements that she's made, which interestingly enough, with the sun being ruled or Leo being governed by the sun and her sun being in Cancer, which is one of the most racially aware signs of the zodiac, this Leo South Node placement can actually deal with Loni having some very karmic past life trauma with black men. I wouldn't be surprised if, she suffered from abuse. And like I said, this could be early in this lifetime or in past lives. So there is some very karmic loaded energy that she has surrounding men of her own race. So, that can be deduced from this placement as well. Also, her Mercury is conjoined to her Leo South Node. And this definitely reinforces these like bossy, attention whore type of traits. As it increases the likelihood of her being exactly how her former writer described her. Because this placement literally represents her being on a talk show and being very, like I said, very self-centered and being very narcissistic, once again, for lack of a better word, right? And Mercury does deal with television. So literally you can look at this as like her on television, or even the way that she interacts with her peers to a certain level, her mentality, when she's speaking and when she's communicating, what her underlying motive is. And a lot of times it is about attention with this Mercury conjoined to her Leo South Node. Now, in her defense, her Mercury is also sextiling her Uranus, which is at the 9th degree of Libra. And this could just deal with her having very progressive views and somebody who's naturally very much like altruistic in nature, but their minds are pretty much predisposed towards taking up for a cause of some sort. And she does have this like woke element about her, whether it's like feminism or like, I don't know, Hotepism, like consciousness, I'm not sure. And some people have speculated, from what I've heard, that, she does it to get attention and blah, blah, blah. And obviously, given this loaded Leo South Node, there could be some truth in that. But at the same time, this sextile between her Mercury and Uranus definitely points towards her naturally being, especially the Aquarius North Node as well, just deals with her being very contrarian, yes, but more so from a space of like, her mind operates in a very futuristic type of way. Like I said, very progressive, very liberal, very much concerned about fairness and equality as it pertains to other people. You know what I'm saying? Very much an advocate for justice and all of that good stuff. And not for nothing, this aspect also makes her a great comedian too. I mean, I haven't watched any of her stand-up. I don't remember any of her stand-up anyway. But, I mean, that could work out in her favor. Now, as it pertains to her having that Aquarius North Node, this actually quite literally deals with her working in a group. In her life's goal or her soul's mission, right? She has a karmic responsibility in this lifetime to learn how to work well in a group and deal with other people. And with her Mars actually conjoined to this North Node, it deals with her being on the real, being a part of a cast where she's literally she has to blend in and fit in to a collective, a group setting. That's very much that Aquarius, Mars conjoined to Aquarius North Node. And it's something that, I mean, obviously can be kind of challenging to her. It could also deal with her relationship with her boyfriend, by the way, which is like this white guy. And a lot of people are upset about that. But nonetheless, it deals with her relationship with her boyfriend being like kind of weird. Because I feel like she attracts men who could be kind of void of emotion. Yeah, I mean, it's just, she could also attract gay men, but I think everybody gay. And it's because most people are gay, okay, or got gay tendencies. Gayness is a spectrum. And a lot of these motherfuckers in Hollywood, they be charting rather high on the spectrum. But don't even get me started. That's a different video for a different day. But yes, nonetheless, this placement can definitely point towards her relationships taking on more of a friendship type of feel, or her relationships not really being that like emotionally fulfilling. There's something odd about this relationship. And I mean, with her being an Aquarius North Node, she kind of has the right. She has the right to be kind of unconventional in her approach to men in these type of relationships. Also, having her sun in Cancer, as well as her Venus in Cancer, both of those combinations can actually also point towards her dating outside her race, particularly with her sun squaring her Chiron at the 13th degree of Aries. You can even look at that as her facing a lot of backlash about that relationship. But I could even also look at that as her, or reinforcing this theme of her like having certain conflict about race. I mean, like I said, about certain men and her race. Yeah, there's something there. There is something there. There's some trauma, especially with that Chiron element. I'm really feeling like she's been a victim of physical abuse before, Or maybe she's the one walking around beating motherfuckers' ass. But I feel like, no, that sun squaring her Chiron in Aries, I feel like she might have been exploited on some level. Definitely I'm getting physical or maybe even verbal by men. So, I mean, there's that. But also this tendency of her attracting queer men as well as relationships that are very like unpredictable and not the norm. That's reinforced with her Venus squaring her Uranus also. And this could even produce possible lawsuits and divorce court. So like if she were to get married, God forbid, especially with that Leo South Node, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't work out and she would have to engage in this super long and drawn out either custody battle or if they had kids, or God, I hope she doesn't have kids since she's a Leo South Node. But yeah, she might have some fertility issues with her sun squaring that Chiron in Aries, because Cancer does govern the womb, and that affliction can point towards where there is some type of issue. Like I don't know if she has like fibroid myalgia or whatever you call it, but she has some type of disorder that could be preventing her from having children. And usually with that Leo South Node, like I said, there's a lot of karmic debt. So I've seen women who like have children with the Leo South Node, but like their relationships with their children are filled with sorrow, pain, lots of hardships. But then you also have the Leo South Nodes who can't have children and really want children, or there's something about, their spirit that just makes them feel like, oh, they're destined to be a parent. But there's some difficulty in obtaining that and making that a reality. And I feel like that's what Loni, the latter could be what Loni is experiencing. But to take it back to her Venus squaring her Uranus in Libra, like I said, I do feel like this could point towards her being in divorce court. In this lifetime, with her being in Aquarius North Node, she's supposed to detach from matters of the heart. And this definitely includes her approach to men. So therefore, like I said, she's kind of entitled to have a relationship that doesn't really fit or meet like the traditional requirements. Venus square Uranus could be one of the most difficult aspects to have in your birth chart as far as like relationships go, because it can almost guarantee a love life that's filled with a lot of unexpected highs and lows, hardships, and it can create a lot of a strong need for independence, either on your end or your partner's end. And it might not always, depending on what else is going on in your chart, give you that sense of like emotional security that some people would need. And it'll be very difficult maintaining harmonious relationships, long-term harmonious relationships. So I said all that to say this aspect definitely echoes a lot of the issues and karmic issues that Loni has in relationships. This could also deal with sudden fall-ins and fallouts with friends, particularly women, which, hint, hint, it could be very much probable. And it definitely reflects what she's going through right now. This could also even point to where she probably doesn't even live with her partner. Like I said, she has a very alternative approach to love. They could be living separate lives. She could also be attracted towards marriages of convenience. I could see her being like a common law wife also. You can even look at this as her taking a rather feministic approach to opinions. Now, with her being an Aquarius North Node, she also has to not be afraid to voice opinions that might get her a lot of backlash, and that goes towards that Aquarian, the contrarian type of thing. And a lot of people, once again, feel like maybe she's being extra and, oh my God, here go this big fat black woman talking shit. She kind of has the right to, in this lifetime, to be that voice that kind of counters the public narrative. And so I'm all for it in that respect. And with her being in Aquarius North Node, she has a karmic duty to develop more of her intellect. And like I said, to do so in a way to where she is being a valuable part of a group, right? Now her Venus and Sun, like I said before, are squaring her Chiron and Aries. Now this could also, another manifestation of these placements can make her very selfish and very self-serving in her relationships, particularly with women. That Venus square Chiron all day long with her Venus in Cancer can point towards her having very combative relationships with women. And it definitely reinforces this theme of her acting off of survival with, Aries being another sign that is, it can be straight up selfish. It can be relentless. And it's definitely, it's either you or me type of mentality. So, this could point towards her being very cutthroat and, like I said, a hater, quite frankly, when it comes to other women. It could even deal with her wanting to be in charge of the girls to the point where it comes off as bullish. And then also it highlights that dysfunctional relationship that she has with men. Now, her Uranus is actually opposing her Chiron, and her Uranus is at the, like I said, the 9th degree of Libra. And that can actually further reinforce issues with friends. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets involved in a lawsuit. I don't know if she's going to sue this lady, her former friend or writer, for making these statements about her. Or somebody could be suing her. I don't know. But if y'all see the bitch getting sued in court or suing somebody, just know you heard it here first, okay? I see a lot of that going on here. Also, one of the hook, line, and sinkers that I wanted to talk about in her chart is the fact that her Jupiter, which is at the 26th degree of Scorpio, is conjoined to her Neptune, which deals with her doing a lot of underhanded activity. Okay, this can make her very conspiratorial. This could also point towards her having lots of power and influence in the industry or in the television business, but being corrupted, especially with her Mars squaring her Jupiter, or Jupiter even squaring her at North Node in Aquarius. That directly deals with her exploiting people, devaluing people, manipulating situations around her to her advantage. And, side note, Mars in Aquarius individuals can be kind of notorious for their ability to, come up on friends, right? But their friendships can be very much artificial and surface level. And for that reason, they can fall out with friends just as quickly. And y'all tell me whether you feel like this is reminiscent of Loni. And these people, Aquarius Mars individuals, tend to carry themselves in a manner to where it's like, because they're kind of void of emotion in a lot of ways, anytime they try to show emotion, they look fake. They come off as phony, which, despite her being a Cancer sun, it's afflicted. Her Cancer placements are afflicted. And when you add this Aquarius Mars, especially the Aquarius North Node in the equation, Loni does she fits that prototype. Like when I see her cry, when she brings her ass on the reel and she's like, oh, Tamar, my sister, this for you, sister. I'm like, yeah, bitch, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all feel the same. Drop in the comment section, but she does come off as not sincere at all. Her Jupiter is also opposing her Saturn in Gemini, which can directly deal with her saying one thing and doing another, being two-faced, having a dual agenda, using her power or whatever perceived power that she has to her own advantage, and very much just kind of giving off this, like I said, two-faced, kind of manipulative front. And I would even look at this as her hopping her ass on television, telling us that she had nothing to do with Tamar getting fired. But behind the scenes, there's, like I said, a lot of underhanded, left-handed activity. Her taking a different set of opinions or a different stance behind the scenes. So all in all, my final synopsis on Miss Loni Love is guilty as charged, bitch. Okay, in this astrological courtroom, we locking your ass up and throwing away the key. Because I do feel like she could very much be capable of getting Tamar fired from the real with these placements, period. I do not put that past her at all. I'm actually very confident that that's what she did. So, I mean, there's that. Now, to wrap it up with a little bit of the synastry between both Tamar and Loni, let's talk about the fact that Tamar's Saturn is conjoined to Loni's South Node. It's also conjoined to Loni's Mercury as well, which can actually point towards there being some competition from both sides of the aisle. Now, granted, Loni had other factors going on, and she was definitely, I feel, dirty enough to kind of take it a step further. But I do feel like both women from this aspect were intimidated of one another. And there was definitely a fight for the spotlight. And you can even look at Tamar's Sun conjoined to Loni's South Node Mercury. You could even look at that as like Loni feeling like Tamar stepped into her territory. You know what I mean? There could have also been a tendency for Tamar to be rather critical of the things Loni would say as well, including her viewpoints on things. And this tension is also reinforced with Tamar's Mercury opposing Loni's Pluto. Actually, Tamar's Sun is opposing Loni's Pluto as well. And Loni's Pluto is at the, 27th degree of Virgo, and Tamar's Sun is at the 26th degree of Pisces. So it's almost an exact opposition. And then her Mercury is at the 27th degree of Pisces. So that is an exact opposition to Loni's Pluto. And I mean, you could even look at that as power struggles, definitely with Sun in opposition to Pluto. There being a lot of tension in regards to one another's like perspectives. I mean, to be quite frank, that Pluto, Loni's Pluto, opposing Tamar's personal planets like that definitely reinforces this theme of jealousy going on, and a lot of secretive, I guess you could say, behavior. And it's a dynamic to where this relationship was destined to either be like a really, really good one or a really, really bad one. You know what I mean? It also points to where Loni wanted to remain in control. She could have even operated under this mindset of like Tamar working for her, if that makes sense. So especially with that Virgo energy, her Pluto at the 27th degree of Virgo. So, I mean, yeah. Tamar's Chiron, which is at the 29th degree of Aries, which, I mean, that is also another video for another day. But it's squaring Loni's Sun, and it could definitely reinforce, like I said, a very combative relationship, a relationship where I feel like they both kind of had some of the same reservations, especially with Tamar being the Aries South Node. Let's be honest, Tamar is selfish. And when you put her in the room with somebody else who operates from that same space of self-preservation, but in Loni's case, of course, gratifying, self-centeredness type of thing, competitive type of energy, obviously there's going to be some problems. And the way Loni handled it wasn't okay, but I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah. At this point, this video is getting very long, but I did want to just make sure I touched bases on this situation for y'all. So that concludes my reading. Y'all drop down in the comment section. Let me know, what did you think of this situation? Like, whose side are you on? Are you Team Loni or are you Team Tamar, and why? Also, did you identify with any of these placements? Why or why not? So yeah, make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you guys can love others. And as always, until the next video, I holla.